Brandon Nimmo is back. Brandon Nimmo is back. We got our leadoff hitter. We got our center fielder back. Welcome to an emergency episode. Again, we're doing a lot of these this offseason. Welcome back to another episode of the Mets Way, another live edition, Brandon Nimmo edition. We're back in this. We're running it back, it looks like. We got some amplifiers, though. Who's on deck? Who's next on the Mets free agent world? Kodai Senga? I said it yesterday on the Mets Way with Hoff, with Drew, with Josh. I said, guys, I said Nimmo and Senga, and I'll be happy. Because Verlander, I trust. I'm pumped, man. Brandon Nimmo, baby. I know my guy Jared's pumped. We're in this. We're running it back. All right, let's get into it. Let's go. Brandon Nimmo, baby. Career year last year, 8 years. Wow, I did not expect him, one, to re-sign with the Mets. I was honestly feeling doubtful. I know Jared threw in the Mets Way group chat earlier. He said, guys, I'm getting a little anxious that it's taken this long. And honestly, so was I. So was I. You know, we get Verlander. I'm hearing the news about the Benintendi. And even Hoff said it. He said, you know, if it's not Nimmo and it's Benintendi, do we really like that? You know, Nimmo's got a little bit more pop. He's a better leadoff hitter. He offers a lot more. He's a center fielder, one, which Benintendi is not. And Nimmo's been here. 150 games last year. Batted over 270. OPS over 800. The guy's got speed. He's one of the better defensive center fielders in this league. And he's one of the better leadoff hitters in this game. The amount of things that Brandon Nimmo can do, the little things that the box score doesn't tell you, the 10 pitch at bats to take you to start off the game. You know, even Hoff said it. Pete Hoffman said it on the show yesterday. You know, the fact that pitchers nowadays go 100 pitches max, and the fact that he goes 10 to start off that game, that's 90 pitches left to right there. 90 pitches left for the pitcher right after Brandon Nimmo's dealt with. And half the time he gets on first base. I think he was, sixth in the league in runs scored last year. Brandon Nimmo was one of the most important pieces on the 101 win Mets. The 2022 Mets would not have 101 wins without Brandon Nimmo. You can count on that. Brandon Nimmo coming back to this Mets team for 2023 is huge. One, I just said it before, Andrew Benintendi, he will be a horrible Brandon Nimmo replacement. Besides, yes, he hit 304, but he didn't play in over 150 games like Brandon Nimmo did. He only played in less than 130 games. Another thing, Nimmo plays center field. Benintendi doesn't. I mentioned that before. And he doesn't hit leadoff. We need a leadoff hitter. Pete Alonso doesn't have 131 RBIs in 2022 if Brandon Nimmo is not batting leadoff over 150 games. Francisco Lindor doesn't have over 100 RBIs for the first time in his career if Brandon Nimmo doesn't bat leadoff for over 150 games. The Mets don't produce as many runs as they did in 2022 without Brandon Nimmo. The 2023 Mets would be worse without Brandon Nimmo. Now, we still need one more. One more. I want Senga, and it's complete. Then, in my opinion, we have a rotation that's dominant. We would have a dominant rotation. Imagine this rotation. Verlander, Scherzer, Kodai Senga. You got Carlos Carrasco, who's a beast, a Cy Young against bad teams. Sucks against good teams, I know. But he's a beast against bad teams. Number 5, we got Jose Quintana. Just got him. And then 6, you go David Peterson, Tyler McGill. You go whoever you want. But the lineup seems set in stone. At least we got our top 5 back. We got Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso, McNeil. We're running it back with those 5. Me personally, I want another DH. I think there's still room to go out there. Listen, the Mets payroll is up there. Our payroll has, I don't know if it's exceeded $300 million yet, but it's definitely exceeded what it was last year. Brandon Nimmo on a $162 million deal for 8 years. I personally think that's a steal. That's less than 25 mil AAV for a guy who we thought was going to get more than 25 AAV for a little bit from the Rockies or something like that. But listen, there was talks about this guy becoming the Mets captain. He wanted to be here. He's a franchise guy. He reminds fans a lot of David Wright. This guy is a leader. He's a leader in the locker room. He's been here for a while. And Josh has said it too on shows before. Paying guys and rewarding Mets that have been here, that have gone through the minor league system, that have grown up into an adult, from a kid into an adult in the Mets organization, and they've done well. And the fact that the Mets reward them with contracts like these, this is what the Brett Beattys and the Vientos and the Alvarez want to see. Okay, you perform well for the Mets, you'll get paid. This shows Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso, if you have a good 2023, Steve Cohen and Billy Epler will give you an extension. I think that's because, granted, DeGrom, he was a beast for us. But the last 3 seasons, well, 2 seasons, because COVID year, I don't really count, though. But COVID, he was there. But the last 2 seasons, DeGrom wasn't here. Nimmo balled out this year, over 150 games, put the durability issues down. One of the best leadoff hitters in the game. Like I said, taking 10 pitches to start the game. Pitcher's only got 90 pitches left. Right there. And he hasn't even finished the second batter yet. And he's got to face Starlin Marte, Lindor, and Alonso after Nimmo. And like I said before, Alonso and Lindor, they don't have as much RBIs in 22 without Nimmo batting leadoff. Nimmo in center field, he's an above average center fielder. He's one of the better center fielders in the game. But Brandon Nimmo, 8 years, $162 million. I'm pumped. We still need a bopper. We still need a power bat. I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we're trusting Francisco Alvarez. I guess we're trusting Vientos or Beatty in that role. But JD Martinez is still out there. There's still Carlos Correa out there. I'm not sure if, you know what, listen, if we're spending this much money, why not go get a Carlos Correa? We got Verlander, we got Scherzer. We only got 2 years. 2-year window right now. We got to go for it. But Nimmo coming on 8 years, as I just said before, it's a good signing for the Mets. If you're a Met player and you're a young player coming up right now, or even Alonso or McNeil who hasn't got that second contract, it shows you that they will go out there and reward you. Let's go Mets, though. Brandon Nimmo coming back. 8 years, $162 million. Drop in the comments what you guys think. That's huge. Huge for the Mets. They got their leadoff hitter back. Drop in the comments below what you guys think. I'm pumped for it. Like I said, I think you take Brandon Nimmo off the 2022 Mets. They don't win 101 games. They don't come close for fighting for the division with the Atlanta Braves. Alonso, RBI, leading the league in RBIs. Nada. Lindor, first 100 RBI season. Nope, not without Nimmo. Not without Nimmo leading off. He's a beast, dude. He's a beast in the leadoff spot. I'm pumped. Like I said, good center fielder. He's got speed. He's not a 5-tool player, but he's a 4-tool player. Listen, like I was saying in the beginning of this, Andrew Benintendi, him being the rumored replacement for Brandon Nimmo in the beginning of this offseason when this whole entire thing started, I don't think any Mets fan wanted that. There was a couple people even saying that, mostly Yankee fans saying that Benintendi would have been better off for the Mets than Brandon Nimmo. You're out of your mind, out of your goddamn mind. Brandon Nimmo, I personally think, one of the more underrated players in the game. Last year, let's go over Brandon Nimmo's numbers last year. In 2022, he had a 5.0 WAR, 588 bats, 159 hits, 16 home runs out of that leadoff spot. So he's got pop, unlike Benintendi. 274 And then his on-base percentage, which has been his biggest thing throughout his career. Listen, in his 7 major league seasons, the guy's got a 385 on-base percentage career. And his OPS, 827 career OPS out of the leadoff spot. Guy's got pop out of the leadoff spot. That's something that you want. And the guy gets on base. He hustles. Listen, 71 walks last year, 54 walks the year before, and that was only in 92 games played. Now, the question is, though, is the durability. I cannot leave that out. I cannot talk about Brandon Nimmo and not talk about the injury history because it's there. You know, it's never been a problem with Brandon Nimmo when he's healthy. When he's healthy, Brandon Nimmo is one of the more consistent Mets on this team, and especially in the lineup like they have now, it just shows you how much of a player, how much of a good highlight you want Brandon Nimmo in a lineup like this when you have stars like Lindor and Marte and Alonso to protect a guy like Nimmo. He's gonna excel. But the problem is staying on the field for him. Last year, listen, 151 games, he stayed on the field, but he's got to do it more because the year before, 92 games. In 2020, in 2020, he had 55 games played, but that was the COVID year. 2016, only 69 games played. We got you for 8 years now, Nimmo. We need you to have seasons like last year in 2022. You got to play 150-plus games, maybe 140-plus games, because I don't want you dying out in the playoffs because that was a little theory that since Buck Showalter kind of rode Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, and Alonso out there every single day, same starting 4, and they did kind of fade away towards the end of the year. I mean, Marte ended up getting hurt. Nimmo, I mean, it stayed the same way getting on base-wise, but Lindor and Alonso definitely faded away in big spots. That's a fact. But Nimmo coming back is huge. But as I said, the durability, it's got to be there. It's not a problem when he's on the field. Like I said, when he's on the field, he's one of the best center fielders in the game. He's gotten better and better defensively every single year in center field. And he's gotten better offensively every single year. I mean, if you're telling me you can have a guy out of the leadoff spot with over an 800 OPS and hit over 15 home runs, drive in over 60 runs, I'll take it. And it's Brandon Nimmo, too. A leader on and off the field. Good clubhouse guy. Treats the fans well. Says all the right things to the media. He's a guy you want representing your franchise. Because as much as this is Pete Alonso's team, Brandon Nimmo is kind of that leader in the locker room, and you could kind of see it last year. Yeah, Scherzer and Lindor are the faces. But Nimmo's been the guy who's been here for longer than anybody else now. It's the longest tenured Met now. Now that DeGrom's gone, this is Nimmo's team. Nimmo's been here the longest. He's been here from the jump. He's been here since 2016 when the Mets stunk. Well, the Mets didn't stink in 2016, but actually, they did stink because they made it a wild card. They stunk. They stunk in 2017, and they stunk in 2018. They stuck in 2019. They stuck in 2020. And then 2021, he's like, hell. He's like, we got Steve Cohen. Well, Steve Cohen was there the year before, but he's like, you know what? We got Scherzer now. Lindor year 2. Diaz starting to catch fire again. Alonso starting to solidify himself as a cleanup guy. Mets starting to click. He starts to click, plays 150 games, has the best year of his entire career, 274 batting average, over an 800 OPS out of the leadoff spot, which is just insane to me. Most underrated stat in baseball is OPS. Well, I'm not going to say underrated, but I think its most important stat is OPS. And if you're a guy who hits over an 800 OPS, you're usually pretty good. And the fact that a leadoff hitter has over an 800 OPS, not just last year, but career-wise, on base percentage 385 career-wise, Nimmo's a freaking beast. You just got to stay on the field. That's it. That's all I'm worried about in this 8-year deal. Only thing I'm worried about is durability. But if he can stay on the field, I'm not worried. Not worried at all. Still young. Probably be, 28 right now? 29 years old, Brandon Nimmo, or 30? I'm not. Oh, he's 29 right now. So 29 plus 8. I'm not a mathematician. He'll be here till he's 37 years old. So you're likely seeing Brandon Nimmo retire a Met. Brandon Nimmo is going to retire a New York Met. And I think every Mets fan would be happy with that. But there's still more to do. Before I end, I'm just going to say it. We got to add more. We have to add more. Billy Epler, Steve Cohen, you guys cannot be done yet. Right now, we have the same team as last year, just with Justin Verlander. And we saw it. The pitching, DeGrom had a good game in that Padres series. But the bats didn't really show up when Scherzer was there, or even towards the late games in the Atlanta series. Bats didn't show up. We got one hit in that final game. So we need more on offense. And ideally, one more pitcher. And ideally, I think a lot of Mets fans want Kodai Senga. So you got Nimmo. Go get Senga. I don't know who we're going to get in that bopper spot. Who's going to be the power bat? I don't know. If we're going to do it internally, I guess. Correa's still there. You got the money, Cohen. You got the money to say, hey, you want to play third? I love Brett Beatty, but I think Carlos Correa is better than Brett Beatty. I'm sorry. I love Brett Beatty. I love him. But Carlos Correa is better than Brett Beatty. And we have a 2-year window with Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer. I love the signings. I love Scherzer and Verlander, but we got to make it worth it. Right now, we got the same exact lineup as last year. We cannot run the same exact lineup as last year. They got one hit in the San Diego Padres game, the most important game that didn't show up in the most important series against the Atlanta Braves. We need a power bat. We cannot go into 2023 with Pete Alonso as the only guy that's going to hit 40-plus home runs. I'm sorry. This Mets lineup cannot do small ball again and expect to win anything outside of a first-round playoff. We need more. I love Nimmo, though. I love the signing. 8 years, $162 million. Great player. Just got to stay healthy. But that's it. Hopefully we can get a Kodai Senga video going soon. I'm out.